Boy, yo!
Insomniac.
Welcome back to COA. I'm your man Insomniac. Today we are looking at the cheapest dash cam on Amazon. And besides the fact that you watched me order it in the beginning of this video, how else can you tell this is the cheapest dash cam on Amazon? Because it's called Vehicle Black Box DVR. There's not even a brand somewhere on here. That is it. So I've owned a few dash cams. I have some experience with these, so at least I won't have to stumble through the setup process, assuming that this one works similarly to other dash cams that I've had. This is supposed to record in HD, has a 3-inch HD display, 170-degree wide-angle recording, loop recording, G-sensor, and audio recording. Which, if this works well, it's actually a good group of features. Depending on if they're calling the G-sensor in this camera, I've seen it a couple of different ways. Depending on if they're calling the G-sensor a parking sensor, or the G-sensor is actually the G-sensor where it locks and stores certain pieces of footage depending on whether or not a certain amount of shock happens. That is a good feature to have. It's probably referring to the latter. It doesn't say parking sensor, but I did have one dash cam where it said G sensor, but it was a parking sensor. We'll see when we test it out. Let's take this out of the box here. Oh, it's another box.
Surprise, mother...
Alright. Here's the camera right up top. Oh, it actually looks like a camera. I know that sounds like a ridiculous statement being that it is a camera, but what I mean is that it looks like a camera. Like a photography camera, not a dash cam. Like I said, I've owned a few dash cams. I currently have one in my car. It doesn't look like I'm whipping out a Nikon and going on a photo shoot. That's kind of what this looks like. And then inside the box, we have the mount for it, and the plug, and some instructions. That's really all you need. Now, the only thing I know that this does not come with is the micro SD card, which I have a couple of, so I will just pop one of my own in there. As far as I know, no dash cams come with that, so that's not necessarily a negative. It doesn't matter if you buy the cheapest dash cam on Amazon or one that's $300. Usually it's not going to come with the memory card. So one interesting thing to note about this dash cam is that the quality, not that this matters nearly as much as whether or not it works well, which we are going to test, but the kind of heft and quality to it, I'm pretty sure this is metal all the way around. It's metal construction. It feels really good, as in it doesn't feel like cheap crap. Very surprising actually for the price. So if this were to work well at all, that's actually not bad. And here's your mount. Standard mount. It's kind of just like the ones that come with every other dash cam. So we'll see if this is any good in the car. That's really where most of this video is going to take place. You really can't sit at a desk and tell if a dash cam's any good. It's got to be tested in the car. So what we're going to do is go out to the car and set it up. I'll let you know how setup went in terms of the features and usability. Then we're going to do two tests, a daytime test and a nighttime test. I'm going to drive the same route twice, and then I'm going to show you actual footage from the SD card in the dash cam to see how good it was, and of course how well it captures during the day and at night. Let's take it out to the car and have some fun with it. Okay, so I don't have it mounted in the window yet, but I am in the menu here. I just wanted to show you that one thing I did find, which is awesome, is that it didn't list any kind of parking sensor as a feature, and that is something I was saying I would like to see in here. But if you go down here, You have motion detection, which I have turned on. Microphone, by the way, for anybody who might have one of these or is buying one of these or setting it up for the first time, make sure you turn that on because it is off. Luckily, I went in the settings and checked that out. Gravity sensing is your G sensor. And then there's parking guard. Now, that works differently on some dash cams as well. It might be that it just stays on while the car's off. Hopefully not. I'm going to check that out after I turn it off. But that could be the parking sensor, where literally that senses a jolt and then it'll start recording for 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Anyway, it has the other features that I didn't think it had. So assuming that they work, that's good. All right, you see here that I have the dash cam mounted in the window now, and I just have the wire draped up over the rear view mirror and plugged in down here in the outlet. That's obviously not the way I'd normally do that, but you can see that I have my other dash cam, my regular dash cam that I normally use, in the window. I am not going to go through all the trouble of uninstalling that fully to install this one. Long story short, that's how it's going to be mounted. The only thing so far I have to complain about is the actual mount itself. It sucks. It definitely feels like if you were to adjust that more than 3 times in your life that it will break. But as long as it stays in the window, that'll be a win. Also, I can tell you so far that the motion sensor thing does work. Well, see, it just stopped recording again because nobody's moving, nobody's doing anything. And let's see, yeah, you can see there, a car just went by down the street and it started recording. So the motion sensor on here works perfectly. But now I'm going to turn this camera off. We're going to switch to the dash cam footage. We'll go for a drive and we'll see how the video quality looks and whether or not the other functions work. Okay, so I spent some time with this dash cam. Here's everything I can tell you about it. Obviously, you just saw some footage, daytime, nighttime, plus you saw me test at least one or two of the other features. Audio quality, as you heard from the small clip of me talking and from all of the driving clips, is absolutely miserable, but it's good enough that obviously you could hear what I was saying, which means it's clear enough that you'd be able to hear a cop if he was at the window talking, or if you get into some type of altercation with somebody. It's going to be clear enough that you can use it. Video quality during the day is very good. You could see license plate numbers up close when I was driving. You could see letters and stuff on signs where I was driving, so it does look pretty good during the day. Still not as sharp as my more expensive dash cam, but definitely good enough that it would work for the things you would need a dash cam for. At night is another story. It would be passable enough, especially if you're in a city area where there's, things are lit up, that it could work. But you could see in the clips, in the darker areas where I might have passed through, where other than whatever is washed in my headlights, it's not very good. So there's really not a lot of night vision going on. And I think you might have seen a little clip of me driving through a reservation that was local, and there was a car in front of me, and I couldn't really make out the license plate at all when I was going through the footage. So like I said, at night it's not nearly as good. I think I showed you little, if any, of me going through the functions with the buttons, but what I can tell you is that you have buttons on either side, but once you figure out what they do, this back screen is very large, so it's actually very easy to go through the menus. Things are pretty intuitive. It's very simple to use, very similar to other dash cams that I've used. The interesting thing about how large this screen is in the back, though, is actually the fact that I found it very slightly distracting. I say very slightly because unless you have some form of ADD, I don't think you're going to wind up staring at your dash cam and getting in an accident. But this screen, you probably saw that I showed the dash cam that's in that car right above this one, and you saw that the screen on that is about 1/3 the size of the screen on this. I barely ever noticed that dash cam day or night. This one is like having a small television mounted in the windshield right in front of you, so it is a little bit distracting. And I'm not exactly sure why you need a screen that large anyway. The point is to capture footage on the SD card. It's not so you can watch a live feed of what's going on in front of you. Hopefully you're looking out the windshield for that. And the mount, despite feeling cheap and flimsy, held on very well. In terms of how well that's gonna last long term, that I don't know. This is an initial impressions type of review, so you're kind of out of luck there. The long story short of it is this. I actually did not expect this to be nearly as good a quality in terms of functionality, physical build quality, or video quality for the price. Are there better dash cams out there? Absolutely. Like the one I have in the car currently is way better, but it also costs well north of $100, as where this was, what, 15 bucks? So simply put, for the price, if you're looking for a very affordable dash cam, this was actually pretty good for the price. Yeah, really not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. If you have this dash cam, definitely leave a comment down below. Let everybody else know what you think of it. Or if you want to leave recommendations for your favorite dash cam, feel free to leave those down below in the comments. Also, as per always, I have the link to this product down below in the video description. The Amazon link will be down there. If you have any suggestions for products you'd like to see me review here on Cheapest on Amazon, leave those down in the comments as well. Make sure that you're subscribed. I'm going to be putting out a lot more videos. I have a lot more awesome products coming up. Thank you all for liking, sharing, subscribing, supporting the channel so far. Tons more on the way. I'll see you all next time.